From JLJ Media, this is Daytime Today with Tami Goveia and Candice Mack. Daytime news at its best.
Welcome everyone to Daytime Today. I'm one of your hosts, Tami Goveia, joined by this fabulous, wonderful, gorgeous, smart, memory that is beyond the beyond. It's Candice Mack.
I try. I don't even know what to say about that, but thank you to the lovely, adventurous, courageous, the blah, 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 blah.
Oh my gosh. What did you think of the week, Candice?
It went by too fast on some levels. Hey, if you're a teacher, let me just say this. If you're a teacher, it went really slow. But other than that, it was really fast. As far as the soaps go, I mean, I think emotions ran high this week. And we'll talk about it.
Yeah, we'll talk about it. We'll talk about it for sure.
Yeah, I don't want to cry.
I do know Nadia Bjorlin tweeted something that just, like, it was so hysterical. Like, I so resonated with it. She wrote, "In other news, I just watched my neighbor hang a Christmas tree wreath on her front door.
Mm-hmm.
Today is September 18th. Everyone has officially lost their mind."
No, they haven't. No, they haven't. I will take a picture. I will take a picture of my neighbor across the street who actually hung up his Christmas lights today as well. I will take a picture. So I completely understand.
I know.
Rush the year. Rush the year, folks.
You know what? I didn't think about that. You're right. You know, people are like wanting to fast forward. Can we just get through 2020? Because it just doesn't seem to be getting any better. But there's also the flip side to that. You know, there are people out there that love Christmas 24/7. And
then there's people who really don't take down their Christmas decorations.
Ever.
I don't know anybody per se. My aunt, not calling her out, but no, like I do feel as though Christmas, it means joyfulness. It means, good times. And hey, if you want to be in that mood all year long, especially this year, by all means.
Whatever makes you feel good. Absolutely.
Yes, 'tis the season to be jolly.
Ho, ho, ho.
Exactly.
Let's get into some crazy news on Days of Our Lives.
This shocked, I think, everybody. I think this probably broke soap Twitter when it was released. The news was released that Melissa Reeves, aka Jennifer, was out. Okay, that was the first main topic everybody saw. Melissa Reeves is out. And then they said that Katie McLean was joining the cast as a temporary recast. Let me just put that out there. Temporary recast until further notice.
So now everyone is just, hypothesis and speculation and all this stuff about, we were talking about this. It's like, this is yet again, and Days of Our Lives this year, this is just kind of part of the course. They throw a casting news tidbit on, everybody loses their mind. And I think this is PR's way of saying that they're working.
Yeah.
Throwing this out, let that take care of itself for a little while. Who knows? I was shocked that there was a recast. I thought if Missy Reeves was going to leave for whatever reasons, if she wanted to take some time off because of COVID, she's got new grandbabies.
Yep.
They would write the story where Jennifer was just off the canvas for a little while. But the fact that Katie McLean is joining the cast, which you and I love her.
Love her.
she's beloved by Daytime in general. That
Exactly.
surprised me.
I I agree with what you said, because with Missy, and I know there was so many speculations, but we do have to remember she does not live in LA full time.
No.
She, just like many other actors, they have to, catch a plane here and there. And with this whole coronavirus and traveling, and like you said, she has kids, she has grandbabies. They're oh cute kids.
Yeah.
I mean, clearly this was, as reported, her decision. I do agree that, hey, yes, Days of Our Lives is back. What we've seen it on Instagram, TikTok, by the way. Yeah, TikTok followers got till Sunday. Apparently, I just found this out that it's
Yeah, I
been
just heard that on the news.
banned. Banned. So yeah, but we should also mention that this is not the first time the cast has been recast, because even though Missy has been there for over 30 years.
Yeah. Yeah.
There was and I apologize to the actress who played her previously, but Jennifer Rose has been recast before. But the fact that it's happening now, again, 2020, Days of Our Lives, news went hand in hand. This is big. Like, it's Katie, it's our Dixie, it's our Rosanna, it's it's Katie.
It's one of the best female directors that we have right now. I
Yes.
mean, she's been putting all of her energy and focus into directing. And uh, so I think her going back, honestly, I think her saying yes to this is a means to continuing to support her directorial projects. So if that means she's going to be on days, if that means she's going to skip on over to General Hospital and work a little bit opposite her husband, John Lindstrom, if that means Bold and the Beautiful, I don't care where we can get her acting wise. We
Yeah.
will take her. We will love her. And in hopes as well that this continues her amazing directing career.
Exactly. But I'm not gonna even lie. I can't wait to see her on Days. I want
I
to
know.
see her chemistry with everybody, and including the fact that we got JJ and Abby coming back. We have, Jennifer is probably going to be in a main storyline.
Mm-hmm.
And that means that if we have Jennifer, that means, oh my gosh, wait, this is my casting dream. Wait a minute. So that means we're going to have Katie and Matthew Ashford.
Yeah.
Be right back. No, you guys have no idea. Like, I don't know if you do this, Tami, have wishful casting. Okay, if this person could go on any other show, or, the character, sort of what Frank Valentini did with the What Ifs back in the day. And I've always wondered how Katie and Matthew would actually gel together. And
It's
again,
going to be amazing. It's going to be amazing. Like
oh my
it's
gosh.
gonna be magic. It's gonna be, I try not to, I try not to set the expectations so high, but
But you
I'm going to.
Right, especially, and here's the thing, because I know a lot of people who know me knows that Ron, we have a little thing going on here, but I trust Ron to write Jennifer. It's just going to be he's writing for Jennifer, and this is not a diss to Missy, but I'm just really curious I don't know, like this really shocked everybody. I mean, people are still talking. But on the flip side, we want to send our condolences to Matthew Ashford. If you have not been following his Insta and his Twitter, on 2 days ago, he lost his mother. His mother, Patricia, who, if you ever heard stories about Patricia, Patricia was rah-rah by her baby. That was, Matthew was her light. And the thing is that Matthew apparently was on set with Wally Kurth when this happened.
Oh boy.
She was not.
Yeah.
I'm going to
Tough.
just say this: it's not easy when you lose your mom, and I speak from experience. But it, and especially it, like I was seeing everybody who posted, including Wally Kurth, and Wally was like, "I'm surprised that you even was, this strong," because again, it happened on set. He said, and I'm going to quote this: "My dear mom, Patricia, 89, just passed away while I was on stage with Wally Kurth. With my dad and sister, she was sleeping peaceful. She was probably the first actor I ever encountered, and she always encouraged me. Even rendering speechless by stroke, she could say more, Mom." And there's a picture of her doing the whole mom, the mom point, as the
mom
mom's called.
point.
So again, we want to send our condolences out to the Ashford family. Yeah, it's mom, it's mommy, So yeah.
On
Mom.
to some brighter news. So a new talk show has aired. So we've got Miss Drew Barrymore with her new talk show.
Yes.
And Variety came out with its review, and Vulture came out with its review, and it's a mixed bag. Now, personally, I don't put any stock in reviews, but there are people that will watch a show or not watch a show, or watch a movie or not watch a movie based on the reviews. The bottom line is Drew has a following. She's got her fan base, and I'm sure they're tuning in. At least I hope they're tuning in. And we'll see. I know you and I talked about Drew Barrymore as a talk show host, and at first we were.
Yeah, I think here's the thing. First and foremost, Drew Barrymore is my birthday twin. We both share the same birthday, February 22nd. So, and not only that, she's one of those success stories, because anybody who's followed her career, since she was an itsy bitsy little girl to her troubled preteen to now, she's come a long way. And she's done film, she's done television, and now, I mean, she was a designer, she was, a speaker. Of course, her being a talk show host, it's the circle of life.
It's like one of those, why not? Just check it off the list.
Check it
Why
off,
not?
right? Like everybody's doing a talk show, might as well. The thing is, I've actually caught up watching Drew Barrymore's talk show, and she had the Charlie's Angels reunion with Cameron Diaz and Lucy Liu, and I was like, oh, okay. I love her personality. I'm going to say this, like you said, reviews sometimes don't always. I'm going to give her another 6 weeks.
For sure. Yeah.
Because she is trying, first and foremost, she's in the studio, limited audience participation. Usually if it's a talk show, everybody's like this, yay! Like, oh!
And you feed off, as a host, you feed off of that energy.
Yeah. I love the fact that she's very personal with her guests. The clip that was shown, where everybody saw, was the Jane Fonda. And Jane Fonda, first and foremost, Jane Fonda is just, she's gold. She is like what I even want to be when I grow up. It's just like, it's like, Bette Midler, The Wind Beneath My Wings. That's Jane. Like, I want to be just like you.
And it's funny, if you haven't seen the clip, I think she posted it on Twitter. If you haven't seen it, go on to Drew's, Twitter account, or, just type it in, and it'll come up on YouTube or whatever. Type it in.
Yeah, it was on YouTube, and
it was hysterical.
They were talking about, getting old and, goals and stuff. But they started talking about relationships, and they was talking about swearing off men. Okay. First and foremost, to our male viewers and listeners, hi, love you. But Drew, who's been married, divorced, you know the pattern. And then you have Jane Fonda, and it's like, Jane is like, oh,
it's great.
It's like, what age it's like the question, what age do you swear off men, and also certain things in life? Is there a time limit? Just saying.
Just say,
I mean, it's
it's
a
a
really
great
good.
clip. You know,
It
it's
is.
great to see the generational perspectives because they are alike and yet
Yeah.
different at the same time. Jane's able to give her some really good advice that I'm at the end. I was like, yes, and she had Drew laughing, and so yeah, you got to check it out. So like
You.
you said, absolutely gonna give her more time.
Yeah.
It's a new niche for her. It's a new
Uh-huh.
animal, and you got to just kind of work out the kinks and find your groove, find your mojo,
Yeah.
and we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah, because
You know,
she's in a whole new class of her own. I mean, you have Kelly Clarkson, who's now, this is going to be season 2 coming up Monday. Everybody is returning to talk shows. You got The Real. You got who else? Wendy. You have so many people coming back, including the third hour of Good Morning America. You just had to do that whole like, So we have a new host for Good Morning America, which is now being rebranded as a new show. Okay.
which
Now
is interesting.
we all remember Good Afternoon America. Remember that at 1 o'clock, same show. Then it was something else. Then it was something. Then it was Michael and Sarah. Then it was It was Strahan, Kiki, and Sarah. That got canceled. ABC decided, hey, we're going to keep the third hour to go against today's fourth hour. Yeah, my head just hurts right now.
I know
So,
exactly.
so the new show is going to be called GMA3, What You Need to Know. Now, this is going to be edgy, okay? It's pretty much going to talk about the coronavirus, in case you missed something, the elections, breaking stories, human interest, medical information with Dr. Jennifer Ashton, who's ABC News chief medical correspondent, Amy Robach, who was on Good Morning America the first hour, is now going to be a part of the third hour, along with TJ Holmes, who's also an ABC News news correspondent. So all this is going to be on Monday. So at what time? 1 p.m. Just in case you forgot,
Yep.
I okay. I I need to say this right now. I feel as though, today's show having 4 hours, to me, and with Good Morning, well, good after, there's no way around this. What, let me see, good midday America. I don't know what you can call it. I understand, news is important in daytime. I fully understand that. From 7 to 9, we get Today, CBS This Morning, Good Morning America. Midday, your local news. I just don't, and this is not. I just don't understand. Can somebody help me understand why we need good
More news.
midday America?
Yeah. I don't
I
know. I don't know. I wish I could tell you that. I don't know. They keep trying to make this work, and it hasn't worked. But
it really hasn't, because there's only one show I could think of that if ABC was really truthful to it at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time or 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and they, ABC has the rights back. I'm just saying that would bring in ratings and viewers.
agreed.
I'm not even going to say allegedly. I'm not even going to say allegedly because I already know. Good luck to TJ, Amy, and everybody.
Absolutely.
I might check
It's
it
a
out. I
gig.
might check it out. Yeah.
It's a gig.
Well,
We'll see it.
might check it out too. I might check it out. Support daytime. Hashtag support.
We also want to send our well wishes out to Chriselle Strauss. Am I pronouncing her last name right? Strauss.
Yes.
Yes. So she lost her mother some time back, and she posted on Twitter, "My beautiful mom would have been 62 today. So young. She lost her mom. Her mom was so young. I miss her an immeasurable amount, but I'm so grateful she has made it very known she is still very much around me. Happy birthday, Mom. Would give anything to be able to tell you. You know how much I love you." So it's just, going back to Matthew Ashford and, the passing of his mom. And Uh, well, I think Rochelle's got a lot of really wonderful things going on right now. She's on Dancing with the Stars.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, she's a favorite from Days of Our Lives.
Yeah.
And she's got is it
Selling Sunset.
Selling
Um,
Sunset, which is doing
yeah.
really, really well. And when you're successful and things are going well, you want to share that with your mom,
Yeah. And I
right? You
can,
want to share those special times with her.
yes.
And so it's
Oh, trust
hard.
me. I
It's
definitely know how
hard.
she's feeling.
Yeah.
It's funny. I obviously, again, anybody who knows me knows I went to a lot of soap events, especially when all my children, was around. And I remember her mom being there. Like Chriselle, when she first started, she didn't have, I mean, she did have a lot of fans, but, it was just like overwhelming. And her mom, because we used to wear, and I'm going to give a shout out real quick to my friend Audrey, we had Chriselle Girls t-shirts because
So
we
great.
just loved her so much. And her mom was like, oh, can I take a picture? Like, I mean, it's just a mom's dream to see their child be successful. And
Yeah.
it's a blessing when you're a child and you can give back to your parents, especially with all the stuff that they have done for you growing up, you return the favor.
Yeah.
And Michelle and her mom were super tight. I mean, super tight. And you're right with Chriselle with Dancing with the Stars. Um,
And it's interesting. I love what she said that, Mom, you've made it very clear that you're still very much around me. It's like, I wonder what experiences she's had, whether it's dreams,
mhm.
sometimes we get lots of
Yeah,
visits
sometimes you do dreams. Yep.
in dreams, or, sometimes if you and Mom had like a butterfly thing and you see a butterfly,
Yes.
it's, we've all got our own, like, oh my God, that's
Uh-huh.
Mom.
Yeah. Yes. Oh, trust me. I know
Yeah.
my mom
Yeah.
always around every time I talk about a soap opera. Like I can feel and be like, Candice, like, yes. Like, so I definitely understand that. And you're right. Our thoughts and prayers goes out to Chriselle and to Matthew and to anybody who's lost a parent this year. Uh,
Yeah.
especially
Really
this
tough
year,
year.
everything
Yeah.
going on. So, well, speaking of losing a parent, I'm not going to do this on this show. I'm going to do it. On General Hospital this week, it finally happened. After almost a 2-year arc, Mike Corbin passed away. Let me just say this right now, and I posted it on Twitter. General Hospital secured their best drama reel this week. Um, of course, Mike had Alzheimer's, Maurice Bernard, Max Gale. The acting, okay, I'm not going to cry. I'm not going to do it. The acting was so on point that for a split second, I think some people forgot that this was Sonny and Mike. And for those who don't know how close Maurice Bernard is with his own father, you might want to check out his social media, because I felt as though that was real,
Yeah.
like the real situation.
And I really appreciate the fact that Frank didn't rush the storyline.
Hmm.
Could have been, I mean, I expected at some point for Mike to just kind of be off the canvas for a really long time.
Right.
And then we just kind of would not hear about him. And then maybe he passed away off camera kind of
Yeah,
thing. Like,
GH was going to come back.
yeah, I really had no idea that they were, because like you said, it's a 2-year arc. And to
Yeah.
spend that much time on a story is there have been relationship arcs, like, when a secret is being held,
Yeah.
that's, it's taken like years for that secret to come to light. But when
Yep.
you're dealing with someone like something like Alzheimer's, uh to have nurtured that storyline the way they did, kudos to
Yeah.
Frank and the writers.
Yeah. I mean, there was some bumps, and when this story came out, it was also around the time, I think, actually, no, I think the Dina storyline on Young and the Restless started. And then a
Yes.
couple of weeks. So it was like General Hospital and Young and the Restless were both telling Alzheimer's storylines. They were telling it on the right path. Something along the way happened, but the message on General Hospital was being heard. And, you know, and I also want to give a shout out to Eda McCoy and to Chad Duell, Laura Wright, and, you know, everybody. Like this week, it was one of those moments where, okay, this is why General Hospital is General Hospital.
Yeah.
And
These are why the pros, the
right,
actors who have been on the show, and Max Gale's been around,
yeah, Barney Miller
for,
and all those shows,
yeah,
yeah,
like he's a pro, like he knows his
yeah,
stuff. And when it's time to step up, they're a
yeah,
well-oiled machine. The show is a well-oiled machine, and the actors are well-oiled machines who
yeah,
really can feed a story that deserves to be expressed on a high level, with
yes,
respect and with dignity, and they absolutely did that.
yeah. And Max Gale tweeted out, "I've been able to see the recent scenes as a viewer rather than as Mike with his eyes closed." Of course, I could feel Sonny's energy, but his work, as we actors called it, is so deep and honest. Wow. Maurice responded, "It takes two to tango, Max. We've been dancing for 2 years. I will never forget this storyline, and I will never forget you."
Yeah. And I was saying to you, last year, uh, you know, he won for best supporting. Max Gale won. And did Maurice Bernard win too?
I think I want to say, yeah, last year, yeah,
I
yeah,
want to say they both won. He won for
yeah,
best actor. Maurice won for
hmm,
best actor, and Max won for best
yeah,
supporting. And so I ran in. I was able to speak to the both of them about the storyline. And Max Gale said when he was first offered the role on General Hospital, he said, "I admit it. I played into the stereotype. Like I didn't want to do a soap opera.
mm,
I didn't want to do a soap opera because he had all these misconceptions about being on a soap opera and what acting on a soap opera was or wasn't and what have you." And he said, "Never in my life have I been surrounded by such an incredibly strong cast, so professional, so extraordinarily talented." He says, "I'm ashamed for having put those
that
stereotypes."
mindset, yeah,
Yeah, yeah. He goes, "Going forward, it's completely changed my life." I was like, I wish everybody understood
yeah. I
how talented you need to be to work on a soap opera.
Yeah, I mean, especially again, for those who, well, I grew up in front of a TV apparently, but Max Gale, was on Barney Miller. He was on other shows,
Yeah,
and you know, Jim O'Hara, who's also another actor who didn't really have a concept of daytime, and he won an Emmy too a couple of years ago. He bowed down to daytime actors because, let's be honest, it's a tough job to
tough gig,
memorize
man.
lines, to have these emotions. And, Maurice Bernard said this is his, keep in mind, Maurice has been around. He said single handedly, this is the best story he's ever done. If you have not seen this week's General Hospital, I suggest you go and watch it, especially because even though I called it, the fact that we had appearance by Courtney. And for those who don't know Mike's history with General Hospital, goes all the way back to Ron Hale.
Yeah,
And about Courtney and Mike's relationship, and Courtney and Sonny's relationship, and Mike and Sonny's relationship. And I say this all the time because some people, and I saw, got to bring up social media. Some people had some issues saying, okay, well, here's the thing: when a family member, whether they did you wrong or not, is sick, there's something inside of you that wants to correct the wrong. And if it's a parent, they want to fix everything before they go to. Not all the time does that work, but in some cases, especially when you're losing yourself and your child is there to see it, it's scary, and
Yeah.
vice versa. So I love the fact that, Mike said, I wasn't the father that you deserved, but thank you for being the son that
Yeah.
it was that whole bridge, and that was the summary of their relationship. I'm pausing a lot because I'm trying really hard not to cry, because this is one of those moments in soaps and daytime that really gets you. You can say whatever you want about the show. You can say whatever you want about the characters. You can say about the writing. But when they do something like this, and yeah, it was 2 years. I agree, Tam. I thought for sure when they came back from hiatus, it was going to start with Sonny in a dark room looking at a picture of Mike, and we get a flashback or get something being
Totally.
told that he passed away. Wasn't prepared for all of this. I
Nope.
was not prepared for the feeding tube. I wasn't prepared for, the going to the shop, his eyes closed. I was not
I
prepared
know.
for any of that.
Any of
And they
it.
went
I
there.
know.
They went there. And I was like, okay, General Hospital, I see you. I see you. So, again, kudos to everybody over General Hospital. Max Gale, my man, you've definitely left a mark in daytime, and
Yeah.
preach it,
Unforgettable.
tell everybody, like, daytime is not bad.
Preach
It's
it, Mack.
good. It's good. It's good. So, of course, General Hospital, being the show called General Hospital, has dealt with a lot of health and social issues over there. What we're going on 58, 57, 58? Yeah, 57, 58 years. 50, 57. It's around that time frame.
Yeah.
Of that anniversary. And so I was talking to Tami, and I want to tweak your brain, get inside. When it's soap or daytime, and I'm talking about like the morning shows, talk shows, children's shows, starts to go there with social issues, health issues. How do you feel about that? Do you feel as though sometimes they should just do half of a story and mix it in with social media, or should they tell it all?
It depends on the issue. I mean, my God, the issue of HIV is still ongoing on General Hospital. It's been a
Yeah.
storyline through a story,
A story,
what's the,
a story arc.
a through line. That story's
Yeah.
been a through line for 30 years.
Yeah. 30 years.
Yeah, and because it's still an ongoing issue.
Mm-hmm.
And so, whatever the issue is, it should always be dealt with fully and with respect.
Right.
And Bold and Beautiful did that with transgender
Yeah.
storylines, and they did it so beautifully. They took their time with it. They did it so beautifully. And I kind of think at this point that it's a soap opera's responsibility. Granted, it's fantasy. 99% of the time it's based in some fantastical world.
Exactly.
It should be based in romance. It should be based in relationships, because that's why we tune in. But I think pulling in relevant social issues is just as important.
Yeah, I definitely agree, because I was thinking, Days of Our Lives did Alzheimer's with Caroline many moons ago. Of course, Alzheimer's, you have rape. Like you just said, HIV. You have bipolar. There's an article that was actually dated a year ago from Variety, was talking about how daytime is sort of the platform. Let me just say that again. Daytime is the platform to educate viewers about social issues and health issues. I share this story all the time. The way I learned about how to check myself, and keep in mind, I was probably 10 years old. Yeah, I was 10. About checking my breast for breast cancer was because of Guiding Light. And then, watching it on General Hospital. And also, I learned about racism on Sesame Street and again on Daytime. And I do feel as though, and I know some people, especially in the last couple of years, have had problems with seeing abusive relationships that's come out of nowhere. Well, guess what? It's always the person you expect. About illegal adoption. Case right now in Bold and Beautiful, they're telling a story about a woman who is addicted to painkillers.
Opioids, yeah.
Yep. And
the person we would least suspect being vulnerable to that, and that's the point.
Yeah, because especially you also got to trace with Steffi's case, in her family, they have an addiction that runs through the family, alcohol, drugs. So I do feel as though like now, because I saw people saying how Mike's Alzheimer's storyline really got to people, especially those who have been affected by it, or who is going through it now. And so I just, and again, it's not just soap operas, it's also about children's shows. We all grew up with Mr. Rogers, the Sesame Street, Reading Rainbow. You hear the stories all the time on Ellen and, The View about how people changed their lives. And then you have, 6 months ago, we had Sharice here, and she was watching this episode, and she decided to do this and do that.
Yep.
It's those moments that, again, daytime is where it's at. And if you don't know that by now, I don't know what to tell you. I don't know, folks. But yeah, so once again, kudos to General Hospital. And speaking of General Hospital, many moons ago, a couple of months ago, fans were heartbroken to find out that Holly died.
And and it's like, okay, Holly hasn't been part of, like, why did this happen? Like, what's going on? Like,
regardless, they killed off Holly,
which I didn't believe. Like, you just don't, like, Holly's dead, okay, and then move on. Like, there's got to be more to this. And looks like there is. Looks like Miss Emma Samms is returning to GH. I don't know how much, but please.
Want to make sure first and foremost that Emma is okay, because you guys remember she did contact coronavirus. She said she was feeling okay. So I don't know if this was pre-planned, meaning they filmed this before everything went down, or if they're going to somehow use Zoom and have her, be like cybering and talking to Ethan. By the way, can I just now say this? Seeing Ethan, Robert, and Olivia this week on General Hospital.
Awesome. So great.
So first and foremost, GH, you better redo the DNA on Ethan. I've been calling now for so long. I was like, oh, we got some adventure. I was like, okay, General Hospital, what is happening here? Like, I love it. Back to the 80s, why don't you? Like, all right, okay.
I love it. So that's a good point. Hopefully Emma will do some Zoom stuff. Hopefully she's feeling up to it. Because it's always good to bring back that nostalgia stuff. And Holly and Robert and Luke, my God, those are like some of the best times ever on General Hospital. So super happy to see her pretty little face.
I know. It's like, okay. I mean, every time I think about Emma Samms, though, I think about the alien.
I know, you can't help.
It's like this. Like, she really went on the spaceship. Like, Oh, okay. Like, all right. Well, prime time at that point was a little bit out there. So, okay.
And another pretty little face, I guess you caught this in the news today. Today, in 1992, Vanessa Marcel debuted on General Hospital. As obviously,
Okay.
everybody knows, Miss Brenda, what was her last name?
It was Brenda Barrett. Yeah,
Brenda
Brenda
Barrett.
Barrett.
Yes. Holy moly.
Yep. Man,
I
that
know,
just
1992. Time flies.
it's crazy because Brenda to this day is still one of the most iconic, and I will say it. I will personally say it. Iconic General Hospital characters.
Totally. I love
I,
Brenda. You
that
loved
is,
her, you hated her.
yeah,
It's like,
she was that girl that you just was like, oh, I can't stand her, but she is really pretty. Oh, I still can't stand her. I want to be friends with her. Oh, she has the best life. I still want to hang out with her. Like, good grief, woman. Oh man, that 92. Yeah, yeah.
1992. I know. Time flies.
Time flies when
Well,
you're having so much
I
fun.
know. Also want to talk a little bit about Freddie Smith and Alyssa Tabbitt, the Freddie and Alyssa show. So they announced on the Freddie and Alyssa show, Salem Proud, it's a virtual event. Make sure and get tickets because they are going on sale Saturday, that's tomorrow, the 19th, at 12 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. So this
Yeah.
is a really special panel that's going to be featured. They're going to have Chandler Massey, Freddie Smith, Greg Ricard, Christopher Sean, and Brock Kelly. Super amazing panel. Fans, take advantage of this opportunity. You don't want to miss it. Go to spectrumcelebrityevents.com and also want to make sure that you know that Tony Moore, who is the host for Edition Days, is going to be hosting this event.
Yes.
So, and also Tony's also on Forever and a Day. So Forever and a Day host or actor and Edition Days host. It's going to be a
Little show.
really good event.
I'm gonna say this right now because seriously, and this is usually I just wear a t-shirt, but I really did wear this today. So I don't know if you guys can see it. It's the Spectrum shirt
Daytime
from last
Tide,
year.
yes.
So last year I went to that event and it had Freddie, it had Van Henson, it had Ryan Carnes who played Lucas. Mr. Cameron Grimes was there, and of course that's where I met Tony Moore, that guy that he does Edition Days. Apparently he's also like funny. That's what I heard. But it's such a good event, and it does talk about something we just now said about the whole situation of representation in daytime, which is very key, especially now.
Yep.
It's such a great event, guys. Seriously, go get them. It's hot. Like, I'm pretty sure it's going to sell out. Yeah.
Pretty sure.
So,
Go to spectrumcelebrityevents.com for tickets and information.
yes. So before we wrap up, I wanted to talk about two anniversaries of two beloved shows that were near and dear to my heart. Tami loved one of them as well. Yesterday marked, get ready folks, take a deep breath, the 10-year anniversary of the series finale of As the World Turns after a 54-year run.
Jeez.
And after 72 years, both radio and television, today marks the 11th anniversary of the series finale of Guiding Light. And anybody who knows me knows that Guiding Light was my show, As the World Turns was my show. Two long-running Erna Phillips shows, a year apart. The legacy that those two shows have left in daytime, and you still see it to this day. Obviously, Guiding Light started as a radio soap opera. Gee,
Yep.
I wonder what's going on now. 2020, with our show, with the audio soap opera of Forever and a Day. That's why we, paying homage to the mother of this genre. But it still feels like yesterday that I watched the series finale of both shows. I know that you love As the World Turns. That was your non-ABC soap. I want to make sure that people know this.
Yeah.
For one day, Jeopardy, like the question is on Daytime Today. This host said that Ashford Turns was a non-ABC soap.
Or which non-ABC soap opera? And then write it down.
We should do like
What
an end
is As the
yeah,
World Turns?
we should do like an end of the year like quiz for our listeners and viewers.
Yeah.
And be like, okay, let's see if you really paid attention to the show. Who said? But no, so obviously you were a fan of us. Can you believe it's been a decade? It's been
No,
a
I can't.
oh
Yeah,
man.
yeah.
What was
Still
your
miss
favorite?
so much. Still miss so much.
Yeah. What was
Do
your
we have
favorite?
any? You're going to ask a question because that led me to think, do we have any polls coming out?
We actually do, to be
Okay.
honest. So one of the polls is going to be about, it's going to actually be about the talk shows. Because I want to know, out of the new class, and there's some new talk shows, which show are you most interested in watching? And then the second one, oh yeah, giving you guys homework. The second one is based off of the anniversary of the cancellations. Can't still believe I'm saying that. We wanted to know what soap opera, past, present, has is your attached soap. In other words, sort of like with me with Gone Light. Okay. I became attached to it obviously because of my family. However, as I got older, I became attached to it by watching the creativity of the stories being told and the way that they wrote the female characters and just kind of that your favorite soap opera but that had meaning to you because we often
Sure.
say our favorite soaps but what
Yeah.
soap was
You have an emotional connection with. Yeah.
mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So your question sucks
That's
obviously like
good. Those are two great polls. So make sure and they're going to be on Twitter. So make sure and participate and engage.
yes
And that wraps it up for this week for Daytime Today. We want to thank you for joining us. You can catch us here every Friday on JLJ Media, which is found on YouTube. We really appreciate the support, you guys. I
yes
mean, we know there's 7 billion things to watch right now. And for all of you who are taking the time to actually watch our show and to
yes
ask questions and to make comments, we really, really do appreciate it. And we want to give a shout out to James Lott Jr., who is JLJ Media, for giving us this platform to produce a show that means a lot to us, and we know it means a lot to daytime fans as well, just to kind of stay connected with the news and to be able to talk about what's going on. Some of the things that you can catch also on JLJ Media. Candice, tell them about, as you said earlier, Forever and a Day, which is an audio soap opera, an homage.
yes it is and I can't believe this. Next week is the final 2 episodes of season 1. And boy, oh boy, you think you knew everything with Augustin? You don't. You really don't. So you want to check it out Monday and Fridays, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 2 p.m. Central on JLJ Media and all streaming services. And I just want to point this out that next Friday, John Driscoll, yes, Henry Cooper Bradshaw from Gone Light, yes, Philip Chancellor, the third or fourth from Young and the Restless. I'm going to put this out. Blossom from Dawson's Creek and Young and Americans is going to be on our season finale. And can't tell you who he plays, but it's good. It's good.
That's
So only on
fantastic.
JLJ Media. Check it out.
I love it. Also on JLJ Media, you can find Bold and Beautiful Mini Spotlight, which is on Sundays at 3 p.m. And that's hosted by James Lott Jr., the creator of JLJ Media, myself, and Amanda Russ, who's the creator of the Bold and the Beautiful podcast. We break down the Bold and the Beautiful for the week. So make sure and tune in for that. Also, GH Mini Spotlight. You've got the Y&R Mini Spotlight, which are also just little mini breakdowns of General Hospital and Y&R. And the Bold and Beautiful Rewind, which is really, it's an audio podcast, and it's one of those shows that kind of takes you down memory lane. It's a little bit of nostalgia about the Bold and the Beautiful. So if you love nostalgia and you love taking a walk down memory lane, make sure and tune into the Bold and Beautiful Rewind on JLJ Media.
Days of Our Lives fans. Yes, I know Days of Our Lives was only on 3 days this week.
Yeah.
But that didn't mean that it didn't pack a punch. There were some things that happened, and on Sunday, 3 p.m. on YouTube, join the folks, join the gang over Edition Days. They're going to have so much to talk about.
I know. So Tony Moore Jr., Michael Mattis. I think Michael's going to be off this weekend. But there'll be some other folks stepping in for the show.
It might be a surprise.
Again, maybe a surprise. So make sure and tune in. You can find Edition Days across, so Instagram at Edition Days, Twitter at _Edition Days, Facebook at Edition Days, and YouTube. Subscribe to their channel. You can find them again at Edition Days. One of the best recaps on the planet, you guys. So if you're a Days of Our Lives fan, make sure and check it out.
Exactly.
That's it. Again, thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in. That's going to be a wrap for Daytime today. Candice, where can people find you on the socials?
People can find me in Springfield with Reva and Josh. I'm joking. It's funny though. No, you guys can find me at CandyMack82 on Instagram, at CandyPool on Twitter, at FADD. Wait a minute. I can't even talk right now. See, this tells you something. FAAD podcast on Twitter and FAAD podcast on Instagram too. And again, thank you guys so much for listening to the shows and for this show too. And I love you guys. Tami, where can they find you?
Spread the love, you guys. Spread the word. Spread the love. Spread the love of Candy Poo. And me, well, you can find me on Twitter at Tami Goveia. You can find me on Insta at Tami.Goveia. Facebook, Tami Goveia Official. I think I'm not on TikTok. I don't do any of that stuff.
Well, as a Sunday, I don't think anybody's gonna be on TikTok.
I know, right? So I didn't miss out on a whole lot. Again, everyone. Thank you for watching Daytime today. We will see you again next Friday, right here on JLJ Media. Until then, let's be kind today. Let's be grateful today. And Candice?
And let's just be grateful for everything that we are blessed with. And we'll see you next week.
Don't forget to Daytime today. See you next week, everyone.